Hello and welcome to the RDC presentation for Nipissing University. My name is Avery Beal. I am the Statistical Assistant for Nipissing University's Research Data Center. Throughout this presentation, I will be describing the purpose of research data centers, available data, and how to access this data for your research needs. So first off, what is an RDC? An RDC is a secure laboratory environment that stores Statistics Canada microdata master files. These surveys include both sample-based data, such as the General Social Survey, and population-based data, such as the census. RDCs are possible through a partnership between Statistics Canada and the Canadian Research Data Centre Network, known as the CRDCN. Both Statistics Canada and the CRDCN work together to maintain security over the microdata files and provide researchers access to relevant data to complete their essential research. The CRDCN, Social Sciences and Humanities Research Council, Canadian Institutes of Health Research, and the Canadian Foundation for Innovation all fund the RDCs in Canada. Statistics Canada's employees staff the RDCs in universities across the country. With the existing funding support, RDCs are free of all costs to researchers within participating institutions, including Nipissing University. Here we can see the existing RDCs and their branches. Nipissing University's RDC is connected to York University and the University of Toronto. Both Nipissing and York are branches of the University of Toronto. Researchers can access any RDC in Canada once they are affiliated with a participating institution and have begun a project. For example, a researcher who works for Nipissing University can work from the McMaster University RDC in Hamilton. Researchers can also work on the same project from different RDCs. For example, a group of 3 researchers could be located at the University of Guelph, Nipissing University, and the University of Waterloo. The connection between RDCs through the CRDCN allows researchers to be connected across the country to complete their research. Nipissing's RDC is located in the A wing of the Education Centre in room 151. As I introduced previously, I am the current Statistical Assistant employed by Statistics Canada. Please feel free to reach out to me at any time at the email listed on the slide below. The analyst for Nipissing's RDC is based at York University. Our current hours of operation are Wednesdays and Thursdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Our website contains updated information about the RDC, including the hours of operation. Before deciding to create a proposal for a project that may require RDC access to a confidential microdata file, researchers should ask whether their project could use an existing public use microdata file. RDC microdata files and public use microdata files differ in their characteristics and appropriate times to use each file. RDC microdata files include a large majority of the original information collected during the survey, including continuous variables, longitudinal identifiers for participants, and bootstrap weights for calculating exact variance. Public use microdata files include manipulated variables through aggregating, capping, or deletion. Continuous variables are typically transformed into categorical variables, and all longitudinal identifiers are removed to ensure that no survey participants can be identified. As you can see, RDC microdata files contain more information than public use microdata files. Access for RDC files is appropriate when the sensitive variables in a public use microdata file are required, if a public use microdata file does not exist for the dataset required for the research, if longitudinal data are required, or if the analytical work is complex. However, if immediate data access is required, the data is required for exploration, or for analysis in a course paper, a public use microdata file should be used. Data information on both the RDC files and the public use microdata files are available through Statistics Canada's websites and the NestStar data portal. The information included on the datasets available in the RDC are also listed in full. If you are unsure about which type of data file you should be using for your research, do not hesitate to reach out by email. Additional information on the data can be provided about each of the datasets included in the portals. The following 2 slides provide examples to illustrate the differences between public use microdata files and RDC master files. In the Canadian Community Health Survey, or CCHS, only 1,381 of the 1,815 variables are included in the dataset. Limited information on each variable are included. For example, of the 15 sources of personal income, only 4 are available in the public dataset. If your research was looking at general sources of personal income, this may not be an issue. You might be able to use the public dataset. However, if your research was specifically looking at child-related sources of personal income, such as the child tax benefits or child support, These would not be available in the public dataset. Therefore, RDC access would be required to complete the research project. The second example is from the 25th cycle of the General Social Survey, or GSS. Of the 3,828 variables in the master file, only 1,465 variables are included. Similar to the previous example of the CCHS, half of the potential variance of the family structure variable is included. The public dataset does not differentiate between step-parents or whether the lone parent family contains only a father or mother. If these details are pertinent to your research, they would not be accessible through the public dataset and would require RDC access. The following slides describe the main themes of the data available in the RDC and a few of the related datasets. The first theme is health and healthcare. A few of the main surveys included in this theme are the National Population Health Survey, the CCHS, the Canadian Survey on Disability, and the Canadian Health Measures Survey. These surveys collected data from Canadians on various health-related topics, including general health, mental health, nutrition, healthy aging, and disabilities. The second theme is occupations and organizations. The Workplace Employee Survey, Survey of Labor and Income Dynamics, and the Census are three main surveys available on the workforce in Canada. Information collected from participants include work-related changes for individuals and families, education and schooling, work activity, economic well-being of Canadians, and demographic characteristics. Data on the Canadian workforce is readily available through these three surveys, among others. The third theme is business. The Business Research Microdata is a cross-sectional data set designed to collect information from enterprises in Canada, including information on tax records, statements of income, and employment slips. These datasets are created through linking several different administrative datasets to track the businesses across different business-related information. The fourth theme is race and ethnicity. The Aboriginal People Survey, Longitudinal Survey of Immigrants to Canada, and the Ethnic Diversity Survey are three datasets available to researchers regarding race and ethnicity in Canada. Information included in these datasets includes the social and economic conditions of Indigenous individuals in Canada and their life challenges, including education, language, labor, health, social support, and housing. Information on immigrants who arrived in the early 2000s, such as adjusting to life in Canada, are also available. The fifth theme is education. There are many datasets on Canadians' education, including the National Longitudinal Survey of Children and Youth, the Youth in Transition Survey, National Graduate Survey, and the Education and Labor Market Longitudinal Platform. These surveys focus on the education of Canadians across elementary, secondary, and post-secondary education, including success and failure in school, and the skills that are essential to participating in Canadian society. The sixth theme is crime and justice. Two recently updated surveys on crime and justice in Canada include the Uniform Crime Reporting Survey and the Canadian Safety, previously the victimization cycles of the General Social Survey. Both surveys are geared toward the perception of crime and justice for Canadians, measuring the criminal incidents that occur and the characteristics of such incidents. The final theme is COVID-19. As we all know, the COVID-19 pandemic has been ongoing since March 2020. Statistics Canada has collected a number of surveys throughout the pandemic. A few are available for researchers' use, including Canadian Perspective Survey Series, Impacts of COVID-19 on Canadians, Canadian COVID-19 Antibody and Health Survey, and Impacts of COVID-19 on Healthcare Workers. These surveys cover the various COVID-related impacts to Canadians and their perspectives on the pandemic, including resuming economic and social activities after the first two waves of the pandemic. To access the RDC for a research project, there is an application process. To maintain the security of the microdata files in the RDC, all researchers must complete the application process and be granted access to the RDC and the data files they request. The RDC application page links are included in the presentation. The timeline for accessing secure data is provided here. Completing the application through the Microdata Access Portal will take a researcher between 1 to 2 hours. This is where you will describe your academic contributions and upload the proposal for the project. More details on the proposal will be described in the following slide. Statistics Canada will evaluate the proposal over 2 to 4 weeks. Approval is based on the relevance of the methods and data and the demonstrated need for the secure microdata compared to public use microdata files. Once the proposal has been approved, the security screening process will commence. It will take between 1 to 3 weeks for approval. Once the screening process is complete, the researcher and Statistics Canada will sign the microdata research contract over 1 to 3 weeks. The microdata research contract is a binding legal document that ties the researcher to their data and their expected product from the research. Depending on the research team and the project proposal complexity, these timelines may be extended. In most cases, data access begins for the researcher within 8 to 12 weeks from the proposal submission. The proposal guidelines are listed on the slide here. The proposal should be between 5 to 10 pages and contain the following information: the title of the project, the rationale and objectives of the study, the proposed data analysis and software requirements, including the statistical methodology, the data requirements, the expected project start and end dates, the expected products, and all references included in the proposal. Researchers interested in the RDCs and the projects that come from the RDC microdata files are encouraged to look at the list of publications on the CRDCN's website. As well, the CRDCN hosts workshops, seminars, and conferences for researchers to network with others and learn about the important research coming from the RDCs across Canada. Past webinars hosted are also available on the CRDCN's YouTube page. If you have any questions or comments about the presentation, how to access data in the RDC, or any other general questions about the RDC network, please do not hesitate to reach out by email. I would like to thank you for listening to this presentation today, and I hope you have learned more about the potential benefits that the RDC network can provide to your research endeavors.